Good evening from Chattanooga, Tennessee, where tonight Father Ryan High School plays its final regular season game of the 2017 season, taking on Division II AAA rival McCallie here in Chattanooga. Hey everybody, Lou Pickney and Austin Wright with you on the call in a game that has major implications for both teams, but for Father Ryan, a win here tonight, no matter what else happens. Father Ryan gets his first home playoff game since 2009, as McCallie we see take the field from the right side, the captains from both teams coming out. But a big game for both teams. For Father Ryan, though, they win here tonight, and they get to host a playoff game 1 week from tonight against Baylor.
That's correct. Father Ryan has a critical game tonight here with playoff implications. As you said, Lou, definitely a big game here for Father Ryan. They're definitely going to need a win to have their first home game for the first time since 2009. That would be such an awesome experience for many Irish fans, and it would be an awesome for Father Ryan to win today. And no matter what, Father Ryan will have a Middle Tennessee game going into next week, so that should be an interesting matchup for them when it comes time, especially because, like you said, the main scenarios are that if they win, they host Baylor. If they lose, they can possibly play against at MBA, at JP2, or others, just depending on how the scenarios play out.
Those are the two possibilities. There is no third as far as if Father Ryan loses. Now, if Father Ryan loses, it all comes down to the Baylor MBA game. If Baylor beats MBA, then it's Father Ryan at MBA 1 week from tonight. But if MBA beats Baylor, that in turn will make it Father Ryan playing at JP2. But a win, and the Irish get to go back to Giacosa Stadium 1 week from tonight. So about a little more than a minute left on the clock, both teams. Well, actually, Father Ryan's not out here just yet. McCallie took the field, and the Irish are going to do so here momentarily. So for Father Ryan, coming off of a win over Baylor, some nice momentum, a Baylor team that they had not beaten in some time.
That's correct. Father Ryan with their first division win of the year and the first in Coach Rector's tenure as head coach here at Father Ryan. It was definitely an awesome win for the Irish. They had a great all-around game and owned Baylor in the running game by and attacking their defense very well. So just an all-around good game by them, and hopefully we can see that replicated here tonight, and hopefully that momentum builds and progresses into this game for when they play against McCallie.
McCallie is a team that will bring pressure on defense. That's just how they tend to do things, particularly from the linebacker position. They run a 3-4. Those outside linebackers aren't afraid to come on the blitz. And so it'll be imperative for Seamus O'Connell, at quarterback for the Irish, to be able to read that and act accordingly. Although the games that McCallie has lost, by and large, they've had a tough time stopping the run, making tackles, etc. Of course, Division II AAA, to be clear, this is like the SEC West of high school football. I mean, that's, I don't think that's unnecessary puffery. It's just the reality of the situation. All these teams are very good. So
that's very true.
So it's a tall order, but this Father Ryan team coming in tonight, hoping to beat a McCallie team that won twice here against the Irish 1 year ago. And here come the Irish. And you'll see Father Ryan, and they're all whites. White helmets, white jerseys, white pants. Contrast from McCallie, white helmet, blue jersey, and white pants. Legible numbers on both sides, which really is all I ask for anymore when it comes to uniforms. So the clock,
it always works well for broadcasters.
Precisely. Both teams are getting set up at Father Ryan on the near side right in front of us. It's an open air broadcast setup here on the opposite side from the main press box. I've called games from a lot worse spots. Like last year, the scissor lift at Baylor. So when it came to McCallie as a treat, they treat us very well here, and I appreciate that.
That's correct. Definitely. McCallie has some great facilities here. It is definitely an interesting experience being open air, but it's great. It's a perfect night here as of now. The temperature's not too hot or cold. It's just a great night. So, and as we have been looking at the forecast, there is a possibility of rain later in the night, but we don't expect that early on. So we'll see how that factors in later in the game if indeed it comes around. So hopefully Father Ryan doesn't have to plan for that, but they will be having an interesting setup here as they get set to face off against McCallie.
So it'll be a 67-degree kickoff temperature here in Chattanooga. Some wind coming in from the south. Hoping the rain stays away here. I know for sure in the Nashville area it's going to impact the Ensworth-Brentwood Academy game. But that won't start for at least another half hour, if not longer, because that's the game on Channel 30 in Nashville. And we are underway here in Chattanooga, but a whistle will stop things. Notice Father Ryan kicking off. They will have the option to receive the ball to start the second half. But first things first, so wait to see what the What the call is, it was a penalty if somebody just got ready to kick when they weren't ready to, or what? This is senior night for McCallie, and they introduced their seniors before the game. So apparently with the first kickoff, not everyone was ready, so they'll do it again, this time hopefully for real. It's Father Ryan ready to take on the Blue Tornado of McCallie here in Chattanooga, and we are underway as a squib kick to the near side, fielded at the 37 to the 40, or the 35 over to the 40 to the far side. Still up, can they get the quarter on him? Past the 50, out of bounds near the Father Ryan 45-yard line, so a good starting field position for McCallie.
And for many of our viewers at home, you may be wondering, why in the world did we just pooch kick it? Well, we had a injury earlier in the season with Zach Wesnowski, the original starting kicker, who was a freshman for Father Ryan, and he did get injured, and he was replaced by Sam Mercado, who you saw number 25 kick it there. So it's just been an interesting change there for the special teams and what they've had to adjust. So it's just one of the different things that the defense has had to adjust to as the season has progressed, but they have handled it very well for the most part in the latter parts of the season.
D'Angelo Hardy, the quarterback, will hand off on this 1st and 10. Close to a first down on that carry for McCallie. Hardy with a keeper. This is a McCallie team with 3 different players with in excess of 10 rushing touchdowns on the season. And we'll get into some of that as the game progresses. They've got a freshman standout, number 20, named B.J. Harris, who's very dangerous. Another running back to watch, number 15, Xavier Brooks. So on this 1st and 10, keeper to the near side. Father Ryan having some trouble with the tackle to the 20. Hardy to the 10. Flag comes in into the end zone. The referee signals touchdown, but we'll wait and see what the call is. And that is the dangerousness, though, depending on what this penalty is, regardless. Already seeing how dangerous Hardy is with the ball. Father Ryan has played against some scrambling quarterbacks already this season.
That's correct. Hardy definitely is an elusive player to watch out for, and Father Ryan's going to have to account for that as the game goes on, because it certainly is going to be a tough game if they let Hardy run all over him, because he has some speed, and as it showed on that play right there.
Well, it appears they're going to be setting up for an extra point, so the touchdown stands. Was a personal foul, watching on the other end, a face mask against Father Ryan. So the 6 points count, the Hardy touchdown counts, and with an extra point, McCallie just 34 seconds into this one has a chance to go up 7-0.
Tough error there by Father Ryan. Just got to work on those miscues as the game progresses here. It's certainly something to watch as the game progresses.
Hold is good. The kick is up, and the kick splits the uprights. Alec Earp, multi-year starter at place kicker for this McCallie team, gets it to the uprights. So keep it here, 11:26 to go, first quarter, so just underway. Some of you who just tuned in, I did my best to spread the word. It's a half-hour earlier start time for these Chattanooga games compared to Nashville, so imagine we'll have people that will be tuning in between now and 7 o'clock wondering how the game started so soon. That's just how they do it. Try and split the difference so it's not too late of a start time for this Eastern time zone area here in Chattanooga. Try to give enough time for all the teams to get where they need to get and get ready to play. So the Irish, not with the start they wanted, and try and see what they can do.
That's correct. Although that was not the start that Father Ryan wanted, and certainly not the start that the defense needed, as they wanted to establish their game going into it. But the potent Irish offense will be able to get a chance as the kick comes up in just a second here.
The penalty is assessed on the kickoff, the 15-yard face mask penalty. There is no such thing as declining a penalty on a touchdown play when it's a personal foul like this at the high school level. So McCallie, after getting the touchdown with the penalty, will kick off from the Father Ryan 45. William Riley and Quinn Warren back to return. Although odds are, if McCallie is so inclined, they'll just slam this ball out of the end, at least to the end zone line. There's a line drive kick. Cleared the track. So that would give Father Ryan the ball 1st and 10 at its own 20. 11:26 to go, first quarter. McCallie leads 7-0.
And now building off last game, hopefully Father Ryan can establish a good ground game and make sure that they get the ball to Jackson Bird, Antonio Wright, Houston Crouch, and make sure they can get some continuity on that side of the ball and make sure that they can wear down this McCallie defense, because they are very stout and something to watch out for as we progress here. But hopefully Father Ryan can get the ground game established here.
Father Ryan will start out of the shotgun, 3 receivers, 2 to the near side. This is going to be a handoff to Jackson Bird. Runs into 2 or 3 players, keeps pushing forward and gets maybe a 4-yard gain. For teams that have had success running the ball against McCallie, from what I've been able to see on video, hit or miss trying to find that stuff, but times where I have been able to find it, the teams with the players that have the strength at running back, the legs keep churning. Sometimes that helps them to break tackles. We'll see if that works for Father Ryan tonight. So a 4-yard gain for Bird sets up 2nd and 6. 11 minutes to go first quarter. McCallie leads Father Ryan 7-0.
And if I'm Father Ryan right here, I would certainly look to Jackson Bird again.
Sesame a pass complete. Brought down at the 34-yard line for a first down. Good reception, Gray Irwin. His first catch of the game for the Irish.
And instead, Coach Richter calls a pass play and hopes to keep the offense balanced, and it's working very well for Father Ryan.
Irwin, the receiver on the near side. Wyatt Rector on the far side, the receiver on the slot on this 1st and 10. It's a handoff, Jackson Bird, a sweep to the far side, past the 30. He got maybe a yard on that one. If he got back to the original line of scrimmage, the ball was spotted at the 33. Actually lost a yard, it looks like. That's a rarity. So Jackson Bird will come to the sideline. Fresh player in for Father Ryan to spell him.
That's correct. And Father Ryan's got a bunch of receiver set here.
Yeah, a trio bunch right there with Houston crouch protection. Seamus O'Connell avoids one tackle. The defender for McCallie lost his helmet. Seamus go out of bounds after maybe a 5-yard gain, but on that one by rule, Jay Gibson, good defensive lineman for this McCallie team, has to sit out at least one play unless McCallie wanted to burn a timeout, which they don't look particularly inclined to do here. So 3rd and 7 for the Irish. 10:05 to go first quarter. McCallie leads 7-0.
That was a great job by Seamus O'Connell to dodge a couple of the McCallie defenders over there and being able to step out of bounds. And it's just a great job by him because he's been able to do this all season long and being able to slip by defenders.
With 4 receivers, Seamus O'Connell in the pocket's going to try to scramble. He needs to get to the 43, past the 40. He may be there, maybe a half-yard short. It depends on the spot.
And it looks as if the officials called it short.
So about a half-yard short for the Irish. 4th and 1.
Now an interesting play coming up here for Father Ryan. Will they go for it? I would presume so, but being it so short, but we will see.
Some substitutions for the Irish as they look at this short yardage situation on 4th down with Montrell McKnight into the game. Also Tate Bales, senior, playing in his last regular season game for the Irish.
And like I was saying on that last play, Seamus O'Connell, his ability to just go by defenders is just incredible to watch. That's something to watch out for as well if you're watching on our broadcast here tonight. Seamus O'Connell's ability, his elusiveness is just incredible to watch.
Really is remarkable to see him escape from situations where it looks like he's about to get waylaid.
That's right. It's almost Johnny Manziel like whenever he was playing in his A&M days.
Yeah, I mean, as Manziel, of course, you get to the NFL level where everybody's fast, it's a little bit different. But on the college level, very elusive. And there certainly is an element of that to Seamus O'Connell's game as well. So on this 4th and short, they're talking about a clock problem. There's not any sort of a play clock here on this field, which really surprises me. It's a very beautiful campus, great facilities, and for whatever reason, we don't have a play clock. It's not like it's not functioning, it's just not here.
That's correct. It's just a unique situation.
So a long delay as the officials try and figure out what's going on with the clock. Father Ryan, from the way it's lining up, it looks like the Irish are going to go for it. Down 7-0 early on the road. Would certainly prefer to keep the Blue Tornado offense off the field. That's one way to contain Hardy if he's on the sideline. This McCallie team, as the season has gone on, they've seemed to have grown stronger. They had a rivalry game in their most recent game 2 weeks ago against Baylor. This game is on the local CW affiliate here in Chattanooga. So on 4th and short, Irish lining up, they're going to go for it unless it's a surprise punt. It's a handoff, Jackson Bird, and he's stopped for a loss, and it's a turnover on downs.
It was a good thought by Father Ryan, but it just wasn't enough for Jackson Bird to be able to get enough of a push back there. So I give credit to Father Ryan for making that gutsy play. So certainly not the outcome they would have looked for, but it is the risk that you take whenever going for it on 4th down.
So another favorable starting field position for McCallie. Began in Father Ryan territory with its first drive. It'll start this one at the Irish 42. McCallie leads 7-0 over Father Ryan. 9 minutes, 40 seconds to go first quarter. It's D'Angelo Hardy at quarterback. They send a man in motion. He'll roll to the far side. Throw complete. Past the 35 to the 30. Finally spun out of bounds near the 25-yard line. And that's another first down for McCallie. Reception there by Jay Gibson. He had a late touchdown against MBA when they played earlier this year.
And in addition to D'Angelo Hardy, his weapons and his receivers are doing a very good job against Father Ryan as well. Certainly something to watch as well.
Fake the handoff, throw to the receiver screen to the far side, complete past the 20 to the 15 to the 10. Finally brought to the ground, looks like inside the 10-yard line. So it was a reception by Hakeem McMorris, starting receiver on this McCallie squad. Wait and see what the discussion is. Players walking backward. Is there a flag out there? Wow, I didn't see them throw the flag. So
neither did I.
10 yards back for McCallie from the spot of the foul. And that will ultimately lead to McCallie having the ball, like they've said, it's set at the 24-yard line. Actually, picking up a yard that way, even with the holding penalty. So 1st and 9, 9:14 to go first quarter. McCallie leads Father Ryan 7-0. This is going to be a handoff. This is the dangerous freshman. Can they bring him down? The Irish took 3 or 4 defenders finally to bring down B.J. Harris. This guy that didn't get much playing time at all early in the year. Then he showed what he could do on the gridiron. And he is an absolutely remarkable talent from everything I've seen.
That's correct. B.J. Harris is an explosive weapon for McCallie that Father Ryan defense will definitely need to hone in on.
Matthew Zito credited with the tackle for Father Ryan, but it's 1st and 10 McCallie at the Irish 15-yard line. Yeah, fake handoff Hardy. Under pressure. Gets past Boutte. And a couple of Irish defenders will bring him down for a loss. Good job defensively there, Father Ryan, both in coverage and in chasing after the quarterback.
That's correct. Well done by Father Ryan to sniff out the wheel route there, but for McCallie, well done by them to tackle them in the backfield for a loss.
I give credit to Ben Smith for that tackle for loss. 2nd and 15 for the Blue Tornado. The ball spotted exactly at the Father Ryan 20-yard line on that far hash. 8:20 to go first quarter. McCallie leads Father Ryan 7-0. So Hardy, after that pistol formation, is going to hand it off again. This time not much room for B.J. Harris on the carry.
And although McCallie got a gain there, Father Ryan defense is doing a very good job of adjusting and make sure they can hone in on who exactly to tackle on these explosive weapons for McCallie.
Grayson Hubbock into the game for Father Ryan defensively on this 3rd and 13. So Hardy flowing towards that far corner. Defense is there. A high pass falls incomplete. And that brings up 4th down.
Well done by the Irish defense and number 12, Grayson Hubbock, who just came into the game. Well done by him to cover up the McCallie receiver. And now set up a field goal here for McCallie.
This will be an interesting one. Earp has a decent leg, not the strongest leg of any of the kickers Father Ryan has faced this season. A player on relatively late. Without a play clock, it's tough to know how much time might be remaining. Neither team, of course, wants to get a delay of game. This would be a 35-yarder. Kick is up.
Ooh.
A strong leg, and it is good. So
Gray Irvin was just feet away from blocking that. Well done by him to race around.
So Earp splits the uprights with 7:37 to go here in the first quarter. Your score, McCallie 10, Father Ryan 0. We'll be right back on ATW Sportscast. .37 to go first quarter. McCallie leads Father Ryan 10-0 here in Chattanooga. It's been 2 possessions and 2 scores for the Blue Tornado, but Father Ryan, after going for it on 4th and short in its own territory, not getting the first down, turnover on downs, but then able to keep McCallie at least out of the end zone, and only a 10-0 lead.
That's correct. Father Ryan definitely going to need to make some adjustments as the game goes on. Certainly, like we said earlier, to watch out for B.J. Harris and the explosive quarterback, D'Angelo Hardy.
Kickoff by Earp. He didn't need the extra 15 yards like on that first kickoff. Went well through the back of the end zone. So for its second offensive possession of this game, Father Ryan will start 1st and 10 from its own 20-yard line. So for those of you just tuning in, I know there's some of you that thought this was a later start time, but 6:30 Nashville time start here in Chattanooga, 7:30 Eastern. And so far, McCallie has had the advantage. Irish on this second possession are going to try and get things going, presumably through the air. To go 4 wide receivers, 2 to either side on this 1st and 10. It's a high snap. Seamus having trouble controlling it. Ball still loose. And it looks like McCallie has recovered it. Christopher Bowman, a junior linebacker, hopped on that one. And what Father Ryan didn't need, a high snap, fumble, and turnover, is exactly what happened for McCallie.
Yeah, that's correct. The snap looked okay for Father Ryan. Seamus O'Connell just bobbled it, and he wasn't able to keep it in his hands, and ultimately McCallie ended up with the ball.
A little high on the snap.
Poor situation.
Overall, though, the snapping for Father Ryan has just been very good. It's not easy to hit that shotgun snap. And they
That's
do it
true.
Usually with pretty good regularity. Unfortunately, on that one, it didn't work out for the Irish. Going to send a receiver in motion on this 1st and 10, will the Blue Tornado. It'll be a handoff. A talented rookie cutting through the Father Ryan defense close to the goal line. And it's a touchdown. B.J. Harris, the freshman from 13 yards out.
And that's one of the key players that we talked about earlier, B.J. Harris.
This is not the way Father Ryan wanted to start the game, to put things
Not
mildly. We're less than 5 minutes into this one. An extra point would put McCallie up 17-0.
Although there is a lot of time left in the game, and Father Ryan does have a lot more game to work with here as we progress, but certainly this is not the start that Father Ryan was looking for. They certainly need to key in on what parts of their game they need to adjust on.
The extra point by Earp is good, and once again, Irwin was right there almost on the block, at least providing pressure, but nevertheless it was good. We'll keep it here 17-0 McCallie, but as you mentioned, Austin, 7 minutes, 22 seconds to go here in the first quarter. So a lot of football still to be played, but an early deficit for the Irish that they certainly did not want when they took that trip down I-24 earlier today, planning for this game tonight.
That's right, and I was riding with the team on the bus today. They were very excited. They were amped up for the game today and hopeful for a win. So certainly their momentum from last week against Baylor will be carried into this game, but how they're able to put it into use and what they decide to do is going to be very critical, especially on offense, because McCallie does have a very good defense to watch out for as well, but certainly the defense is going to be the more critical factor here in the game, as we've seen with the potent McCallie offense.
And Father Ryan offensively with a turnover on downs and then a fumble deep in its own territory. So the Irish have certainly used a long, sustained scoring drive here if at all possible. At least get the defense a chance to get its bearings. Kickoff by Earp across the plane of the goal line. So 3 kickoffs and 3 touchbacks. And for the third time in this game, in as many possessions, Father Ryan will start 1st and 10 from its own 20.
That's great. McCallie's kicker, Earp, definitely has a strong leg and able to pin Father Ryan's return team back and not being able to have much more better position than the 20-yard line, like you said.
That's where the Irish will begin this third offensive drive. Not even 5 minutes into this one. It's going to be Brewers at the slot position. Rector, that far receiver position on this 1st and 10. But it's going to be a handoff to Jackson Bird, plowing forward. Maybe a 5-yard gain on that one. Looked like he was swallowed up by the defense, but that's where he kept his legs churning, as he usually does. And got a little bit extra yardage, a 4-yard gain, 2nd and 6 for the Irish.
That's correct. Jackson Bird's lower body strength is just incredible to watch whenever he's able to plow through the defense like he did earlier. And also credit to the Father Ryan offensive line for being able to get him just enough space to push through.
Less than 7 minutes to go, first quarter. McCallie leads Father Ryan 17-0. They send a trio of players over to the far side. Maybe some misdirection. Maybe a keeper, Seamus O'Connell, trying to get the corner. He got maybe a yard on that one. So Irish brought 3 players over to help with the blocking, but McCallie was certainly aware and kept O'Connell to a minimal gain, if any.
And the interesting setup by Father Ryan was well played there by McCallie. So hopefully Father Ryan can establish the ground a little bit more although they do have a long 3rd and 6 here.
Spilling Noah Haley will be Nick Miller on this 3rd and 6. O'Connell throws complete. Wyatt Rector, he was at the 30. Got pushed back with forward progress. He should have the first down.
O'Connell's pass complete to number 7, Wyatt Rector.
Shannon Walker, defensive back.
And it looks as the officials haven't made a decision yet.
The ball spotted right at the 30 exactly. And remember, Father Ryan had it exactly at the 20 at the touchback. So that line's pretty helpful. You don't need to move the chains when the line's already drawn for you. One of the advantages when you start after a touchback on that first down. So 5:46 and counting, first quarter. McCallie 17, Father Ryan nothing.
And now coming up here for Father Ryan, now that they do have a fresh set of downs, definitely want to look out for the passing game to establish that as well.
McCallie brings in the linebackers, a run blitz. Trying to bring down Antonio Wright, his first carry of the game, and he got maybe a couple of yards. Good second effort with McCallie bringing the outside linebacker and both inside linebackers, bringing that pressure, trying to stuff the holes. So let's say a 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8 for the Irish.
Antonio Wright having a great season, just only a sophomore for Father Ryan, but he's been having some great carries in critical situations over the course of the season, so kudos to him for getting that far into play.
Less than 5 minutes to go, first quarter. McCallie leads by 17. 3 receivers to the near side for the Irish. O'Connell from the pocket is going to throw deep for Rector, and it falls incomplete. And defensively, McCallie was there. The defenders in position. Brandon Benn, a junior defender, defensive back in the vicinity. A lot of oomph behind that throw by Seamus O'Connell.
That's right. He was looking for the deep ball there.
And as usual with O'Connell, if he's going to miss, he's going to miss long.
That's correct.
And that's the way you want it.
Exactly.
You miss short on that one, and you may have an interception.
Yes, that's right. But there was a host of defenders around Wyatt Rector over there, so certainly you definitely want to throw it long.
4 receivers in this 3rd and 8. Inside linebacker blitz, pressuring O'Connell. Seamus O'Connell brings it to the near side, buying time. Can he find an open receiver? He's going to get brought down for a tackle for loss. 5 or 6 yards lost on that one, and the Irish almost for sure will be punting.
Definitely not the situation the Father Ryan needed right there. The McCallie defense just got some great pressure against Father Ryan and was able to pressure Seamus O'Connell outside the pocket. So it brings up a punting situation now.
4th and 15, you would imagine that is going to be the case with Jackson Bird, the usual punter for this Irish team. Gets away a spinning kick to the near side, but trouble fielding this one. Takes an Irish bounce past the 45 to the 43, keeps rolling, and will finally roll dead at the McCallie 40-yard line. So a good job there. Jackson Bird getting that punt away. No return available there for McCallie, and they'll have their worst starting field position in this game. Their 4th offensive possession overall, leading 17-0, 4:04 to go here in the first quarter.
And going into this next possession here for McCallie, the Irish defense is going to need to be able to find those matchups that we've been talking about all night and make sure that they can cover all those key players for the McCallie offense.
McCallie has some playmakers out there. We talked about B.J. Harris, talented running back. Xavier Brooks, number 15, isn't exactly a picnic to bring down either. And, of course, star quarterback number 10, Hardy. And there's D'Angelo Hardy out of the pistol on this 1st and 10. They're going to set the option play, like to run misdirection. He's going to keep the ball past close to the 45. Finally brought down for about a 5-yard gain on that far side. A lot of running to get the 5 yards there for McCallie.
Well done by the Father Ryan defense to be able to take down D'Angelo Hardy. But D'Angelo Hardy, he certainly has some wheels on him, and he was able to brush by Father Ryan defenders over there on a long run.
Outside linebacker Ben Smith credited with the tackle for the Irish. The 5-yard gain by Hardy, 2nd and 5. 3:55 to go first quarter. McCallie 17, Father Ryan 0. McCallie bunched up. A couple of receivers way on that far side. Yeah, quick receiver throw complete. The 45 tries to make Father Ryan defender miss by moving backward, gets forward. You need to get past the 50-yard line, and it appears he did. That second effort working for the Blue Tornado, and it's a McCallie first down.
And with another first down, McCallie is back in Father Ryan territory. Father Ryan Irish have been struggling against McCallie in both phases of passing and running. So Father Ryan's just going to have to be working as a whole unit here to be able to stop this potent McCallie offense.
McCallie with that misdirection Makes it very difficult. You almost have to spy Hardy on every play. So that's going to be a handoff to Harris. B.J. Harris has about a 3-yard gain. Sets up 2nd and 7. It's rare that you see a freshman come in at running back and have the kind of impact that B.J. Harris has had on the second half of this season for McCallie, which already had plenty of talent. Rico Dozier has been playing receiver. He's number 1. The receiver closest to you on this near side. 3-receiver look on 2nd and 7. It's be a handoff up the middle. Father Ryan having some difficulty tackling to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, B.J. Harris. McCallie goes up 23-0 here in the first.
Just an unfortunate series there for Father Ryan. B.J. Harris was able to blow by the Father Ryan defenders. It's just his ability right there, just showing to be able to slide by Father Ryan defenders there, and just it's a tough situation to deal with. But that's the weapons that McCallie has. It's just one of the things that they're going to have to adjust to as the game progresses.
It's exceptionally rare that you have a running back who is a freshman with that kind of strength to break those tackles.
That's correct.
I mean, this is the Father Ryan team. Their defense has been out here a lot, but we're still in the first quarter. And the extra point by Earp, I'll probably slam it to the, no, won't quite make it to the scoreboard. Don't count it out. But the extra point is good, so 2:42 to go here in the first quarter. Your score, McCallie 24, Father Ryan nothing. Probably worth keeping it here to talk about what Father Ryan can do at this point. You're down big, but it's still the first quarter. Yes, but on this next offensive possession, something's got to happen.
Yes, that's correct. This certainly is a critical situation because although it is the first quarter, Father Ryan is down 24 points. I mean, that is certainly a lead that will be almost insurmountable if grown any larger. But certainly Father Ryan will need to make some important adjustments here as they continue, because some of the short passes that they had earlier in the game, they worked, but they only had a few. So establishing that might work for them as well. But we will see how it goes as they continue. But hopefully they can get Jackson Bird, Houston Crouch, and Antonio Wright some more touches.
Coming into tonight, McCallie on the season in the first quarter had scored 100 points. Its opponents only 49. So this is McCallie team. They led 10-0 at the end of the first at NBA. In that game with that hurricane-like weather coming through the remnants of Harold. No such excuses tonight, although there is a rain band in Nashville heading this way. As Earp with a kickoff. 4 kickoffs and 4 touchbacks. So the fourth time as many possessions in this game. Father Ryan will start 1st and 10 from its own 20, down 24-0 here in the first quarter.
And although McCallie has a great team, I am very shocked that the score is so high already. But Father Ryan definitely will be needing an important drive right here out of their offense and getting points on the board.
Just heard an update from the public address announcer here at Spears Stadium. NBA and Baylor tied at 7. That's the game to watch besides this one for Father Ryan. Father Ryan wins, they host Baylor 1 week from tonight. If they lose, it's either going to be playing at JP2 or at NBA, depending on that outcome in Baylor and NBA. 1st and 10 for the Irish. Carry into that mass of people. It was Houston Crouch on the carry. He was obscured behind those offensive linemen. That's thus the pause. Make sure I said the right name. A 2-yard gain for Crouch sets up 2nd and 7. 2:16 to go first quarter. McCallie leads by 24. Seamus O'Connell's going to try running with it. Spin move to the 25, down at the 27-yard line. That'll set up 3rd and 3 for the Irish.
Well done by Seamus O'Connell to make the spin move and go around the McCallie defender to get a nice gain to set up a short 3rd down. And now with this short 3rd down, Father Ryan, I would definitely think would need to be looking for a run play here to give it to Jackson Bird or any other runner or running back that they have out there. But
the Irish, it's very easy to see where they need to reach. The 30-yard line, that white line, 3 yards away. Setting up the pass, O'Connell rolling to the near side, throws in and out of the hands of Quinn Warren, incomplete. That would have been enough for a 1st down. But unfortunately, that's been the way it's gone for the Irish in this first quarter. 24-0 in the hole, and looking at 4th and 3.
That's right. The Irish just with another miscue there, and Quinn Warren not being able to hold it in just enough, not enough concentration. But that, yeah, that's like you said, Lou. That's just the way the Father Ryan's been operating tonight. It just hasn't been going their way. So hopefully the defense can step up here and stop a very tough McCallie offense.
Jackson Bird set the punt. Rico Dozier to return. McCallie has 1 punt return for a touchdown this season, but it wasn't by Dozier. Spiraling kick will go towards that far side, take a bounce at the McCallie 40. And an Irish roll will be down near the Blue Tornado 35, maybe 36-yard line. So another good punt by Jackson Bird, but 3 and out is not what Father Ryan wanted from its offense, with a defense that has been on its heels thus far. Back out there once again.
Yes, that's right. And one of the reasons they've been on their heels is D'Angelo Hardy, and in addition, B.J. Harris being able to blow by Irish defenders. Certainly going to be one of the players for McCallie that Father Ryan will need to be watching out for, because he has been all over it tonight.
There's a reason Harris has 10 touchdowns and only 6 games played coming into tonight. Of course, he tacked one on moments ago. First and 10, McCallie at his own 36-yard line. They lead by 24. It's going to be a keeper. Hardy makes a couple of Father Ryan defenders miss. He's so quick at moving, changing direction. Finally brought down around the 43-yard line of the Blue Tornado. Not enough for a first down, but that's a big chunk of yardage on first and 10.
That's correct. D'Angelo Hardy's shiftiness is certainly something to watch out for as well, being able to go around Father Ryan defenders there.
Less than a minute to go first quarter. McCallie leads Father Ryan 24-0. Those of you tuning in think it was a 7 o'clock kickoff. Actually started at 6:30. And it's been all Blue Tornado thus far. They've scored all 4 of its possessions. Starting offensive possession number 5, Hardy. He's going to throw deep. Double coverage intended for Rico Dozier, who makes an amazing catch. What a play by McCallie, throwing into double coverage. Dozier somehow, he's not exactly a big guy at 5'9", but he got in position, made a almost circus catch. And that play is emblematic of the way it's gone tonight for both teams.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. That was an unbelievable catch by Rico Dozier. Credit to him for being able to make that, but just not what Father Ryan needs right here.
And then if the throw is enough for you, they're going to run it. B.J. Harris up the middle. Gets with 6 or 7 yards. So less than 20 seconds to go in this first quarter. McCallie has the option of letting the time run out without knowing the play clock, because there's no play clock here, which I still don't understand, but that's just how it is. It's fair for both teams. It's just
yeah, that's
that's
true. It's just
that's the reality. So
that's correct.
They're getting to the line of scrimmage, but with only 1 second to go. This may be just a window dressing. Indeed it is. So that ends a first quarter that Father Ryan would like to forget, to be sure. After one, your score. What?
Oh, yes, and Father Ryan, after this quarter, they are definitely going to need to make some critical adjustments going into the next. And certainly watch out for B.J. Harris and D'Angelo Hardy for McCallie. The Blue Tornado have been all over the field tonight, so the Irish defense is going to need to come up big in the second quarter.
So after one, your score, McCallie 24, Father Ryan 0. We'll be right back here on ATW Sportscast. So we start the second quarter here. Spear Stadium on the campus of the McCallie School, Pete Potter Field. McCallie knocking on the door to start this second quarter. Lou Pickney and Austin Wright with you here on the call. Father Ryan, after having a first quarter that did not go its way in any conceivable way, now facing a tough defensive stand to keep this one from getting absolutely blown out of control. It's 24-0 McCallie here to start this second quarter. And they're looking at a second and short ball at the Irish 4-yard line. Hardy's going to bring receiver in motion from the near side to the far. We'll see Hardy keeping himself, slicing into the end zone. Touchdown McCallie. And 6 seconds into the second quarter, it's a 30-0 lead for the Blue Tornado.
And just an awful situation here for Father Ryan, being down 30-0 right now with 11:54 left in the second quarter only. But what can you say when you're facing D'Angelo Hardy and B.J. Harris? They have just been lighting it up here tonight. And credit to the McCallie offensive line as well for taking on the Irish D-line and just opening that hole for D'Angelo Hardy to get through.
Extra point by Earp is up and good. So 11:54 to go here in the second quarter. And the score is McCallie 31, Father Ryan nothing. Not what Father Ryan wanted or even expected.
No, that's correct. And coming off a big Baylor win last week, it's certainly not something that anybody would have expected coming into this game.
And the scary thing from Father Ryan's standpoint is that there are other running backs on the McCallie team that are very talented. Maybe not like B.J. Harris, who's phenomenal. He's very much impressed me. What I saw in video was good, but this, I mean, he's broken tackles early in the game. That's more we see third, fourth quarter.
Yes, that's correct.
The strength and speed and presence of mind that you just do not normally expect out of a freshman, but there's a reason he worked his way into a playing role and ultimately a starting role for this McCallie team. So 31-0. Father Ryan wants to come back. This would be a good time to start here early in this second quarter.
Yes, that's right. Father Ryan's offense just needs to build some continuity going forward here, and one of the better ways to do that is establishing the ground game, which they have done on some plays, but they just haven't been able to establish good series overall.
Earp kicks off. William Riley may get a chance to field this. He wisely lets it go out of bounds. Smart play there by William Riley. Ball going out of bounds. We got another flag that came in from a different official, so this is different. The penalty for kicking the ball out of bounds on a kickoff puts it 1st and 10 at the receiving team's 35-yard line. But a different official came running up late, throwing a flag in that had nothing to do with that ball going out of bounds, so we'll see what it is.
Nothing on that play seemed out of the ordinary, but we will see what the officials have.
There may have been some sort of an exchange between players. Okay,
as is possible.
Yeah, there's a reason they've got multiple refs out there. I was just watching the sideline to see what Riley was going to do. William Riley, a wise move, letting it bounce out of bounds. And you've got to be aware in that situation. When that ball hits the ground and bounces up and hits you, it's trouble. Or it's a live ball anyway if you just let it sit there. A punt is more that's a concern, but bottom line is he made the smart play. So tack on 15 yards. A personal foul against the Blue Tornadoes. So Father Ryan will start 1st and 10 with the ball right at midfield at the 50-yard line.
The best starting field position for Father Ryan tonight. Hopefully they can capitalize on this opportunity and get a score, but like I said earlier, hopefully the ground game can be established here to not only build some continuity in general on offense, but to start wearing down the McCallie defense.
McCallie 31, Father Ryan 0. 1st and 10 for the Irish at midfield. A high snap, hand off to Jackson Bird, but that play had no chance. Between the multiple linebackers going in on that run blitz for McCallie and a little trouble handling the snap.
That's correct. And like you said, one of the reasons the play ended so quickly was Seamus O'Connell wasn't able to hold on to the ball and had to hand it off late to Jackson Bird. And that impacted a big play earlier in the game, so we'll have to see how that plays into it.
3 receiver look for the Irish, 2 to the far side of this 1st and 10. O'Connell scrambles to the far side, is going to throw. And that ball hit the ground about 2 yards in front of the intended receiver, Wyatt Rector. And now Father Ryan faces a 3rd and 9.
And that pass right there, it seemed to be just a miscommunication there by Seamus O'Connell and his receiver there, so being so well underthrown. So we will see what Father Ryan comes up with here on the 3rd and 9 at their own, on the McCallie 49.
Nick Miller into the game for Montrell McKnight on this 3rd and 9, 11:22 to go, second quarter. McCallie leading 31-0. Seamus O'Connell is going to run with it. It's picked up and taken to the ground near the McCallie 45-yard line, so maybe a 3 or 4 yard gain there. So Father Ryan down by 31 points, facing a 4th and 6. And we'll see what the Irish choose to do here. You hear that whistle, it means 25 seconds from then. Count down your head if you wish, because there's not a play clock out here. And so for the Irish, and this could end up being a factor later if they're able to make this a bit more competitive. 4th and 6 for the Irish, down 31-0 in the second quarter. And it's going to be the punt. Seamus O'Connell on the punt, and the way it's gone for the Irish tonight, the ball went into the end zone, so it's a touchback. Ended up netting about 25 yards. Smart play, though, at least in my estimation.
That's correct. It is a safe play for Father Ryan to work with. Although it did roll into the end zone, it was definitely the safe play to work with because they weren't able to convert earlier on the 4th down. So,
you notice last week Baylor had somebody back preparing for that. It's the one team I've seen that seems to have picked up on that being a possibility. So McCallie, though, starting at its own 20-yard line. I believe it's worst starting field position of the game, but with a 31-point lead and an offense that has been nearly unstoppable thus far. tell it like it is. It's not looking good for the Irish right now. 1st and 10. D'Angelo Hardy at quarterback. Out of the pistol, he's going to throw. The ball incomplete. Little quick throw. That will set up a 2nd and 10 intended for Shannon Walker in the slot for the Blue Tornado.
And with the quick throw, it was dropped by the McCallie receiver there. Father Ryan will definitely on their defense going forward from this point on. Although McCallie has been having a good ground game, their receiving game is also something to watch out for.
It's a 3-receiver look on this 2nd and 10. Setting up the option would be a pitch to Brooks. Xavier Brooks on the far side. Brought down at the 26-yard line, so a 6-yard gain. Keep in mind, Brooks is the player who was the starting running back to begin this season before B.J. Harris absolutely broke out as a freshman phenom, if you will. 10:25 to go here in the 2nd quarter. It's 31-0 McCallie as the Blue Tornado face a 3rd and 4.
Big 3rd down coming up here for Father Ryan. It would be a big stop if they can get it right here.
So 3-receiver look. Yeah, quick throw to the far sideline, complete to Rico Dozier. Dozier has the 1st down. We brought down finally at the McCallie 35-yard line. So on 3rd down, the conversion for the Blue Tornado. And their offense continues to have success against this Father Ryan defense. Hunter Hopkins out of the game, replaced by David Ward for this 1st and 10. Ball at the 35-yard line of McCallie. They're going to go trips receivers to the near side. Maybe setting up a quick screen or trying to spread out Father Ryan. There's be a handoff up the middle. Only a couple of yards there. I believe Xavier Brooks was on the carry. Well, that's the play. You bring the receivers out, hoping you get some of those linebackers to kind of cheat that way and open up the run between the tackles. Indeed, it was Brooks on the carry. They'll say 2 yards on that one, 2nd and 8 for McCallie.
But it was well done by Father Ryan to stay at home and tackle the McCallie running back right there. But well done by the Irish defense.
On 2nd and 8, 9:36 to go, 2nd quarter. McCallie up 31-0, and the Blue Tornado throw to the near side. It's complete to the 40 to the 45. Past midfield, still up. And it takes a pair of Irish defenders to force him out of bounds. Shannon Walker on the reception. So McCallie, even with that 31-0 lead, knowing there's still plenty of time to go in this game, not getting away from its passing attack. That's a 1st and 10 at the Irish 44-yard line. 9:19 to go, 2nd quarter. McCallie leads 31-0.
And although McCallie lacks some size in some of their players out there, they certainly make up for it in speed and strength when going up against the Father Ryan defenders.
So we're going to send Walker in motion to the far side on this 1st and 10. It's going to be a throwback to the near side, a Father Ryan-like play. It's incomplete, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Hakeem McMorris. Nice to see Marcel Fogg there, though. He's ready to break up that pass if he had brought it in. Glad to see Marcel's okay as well. I know he took a hard hit late last week against Baylor. He's been so key for this Irish team. When you think about the secondary, the change that had to be made.
Yes.
With Pfeiffer out for the year, meaning Seamus O'Connell had to play quarterback full time, couldn't be back at safety except for 1 or 2 times they put him in there. So bottom line is this Irish secondary has
That's correct.
Has had some challenges because of injuries at other positions. That's
right. Many positions have been overturned as the season has gone by, but the Irish have adjusted pretty well to it as the season has progressed. Excuse me.
Xavier Brooks on the carry. Stopped by Grayson Hubbock. Also, I believe they had, yes. Okay, they're spotted at the 40-yard line, so 3rd and 5. And the Father Ryan fans made the drive down from Nashville on I-24 just like we did, trying to cheer on this Father Ryan defense on 3rd and 6. Out of the gun. Hardy's going to roll. Looking downfield. He loses the ball. It's a fumble. Ball still loose, and it's a Father Ryan recovery. Ben Smith, the Johnny on the spot. And the first turnover of the game by McCallie gives Father Ryan the ball and a chance to perhaps start building some momentum if they want to overcome this 31-0 mountain they face.
Well done by Ben Smith to strip the ball from D'Angelo Hardy and get the Irish the ball. That was a great play by them, and hopefully the Irish offense can build off this momentum and get a score on the board as they are down 31-0 with 8:22 left in the second quarter.
So again, it is still early. That is a monumental comeback would be required, yes. But there is time to do that if the Irish can make it happen. 3 receivers, 2 to the near side. We have motion on a long count. And I believe that'll be infraction against River Henry, number 52. So it'll be 1st and 5. Henry listed 6'2", 255, and I believe it. He certainly has the size, although on that one, he fell for it on the hard count. So we're getting 3 receivers for the Irish on this 1st and 5. It's going to be a handoff, maybe a 2-yard gain. It's tough to tell with all the bodies in there. Antonio Wright on the carry.
Well done by Antonio Wright to get a few more yards to make it 2nd and 3. And now with it being so short, Father Ryan, I would think, would be setting up here for another run to just punch it through and get into the McCallie zone.
It's a 3-receiver look. And it's going to be a handoff. And maybe a 2-yard gain. Antonio Wright with the carry. He picked up 2, really needed 3. So it's going to be 3rd and short for the Irish.
And now a short 3rd down coming up for Father Ryan. Critical play for them to get a 1st down and establish more momentum.
They need to get to the Blue Tornado 47, and that won't happen on this play. Jackson Bird ran up to the line of scrimmage and basically ran into a wall. For as talented as he is as a running back, there just was no room for him there.
That's right. The well-disciplined Blue Tornado defense was able to sniff it out and tackle Jackson Bird in the backfield.
So a 2-yard loss makes it 4th and 3 for Father Ryan. Ball at the 50-yard line as we approach the 7-minute mark of the 2nd quarter. McCallie leads 31-0. Father Ryan lines up as if they're going to go for it. Of course, the last time they did that, it was a surprise punt by Seamus O'Connell. A trio of Irish players moved from the near side to the far. So O'Connell keeping it, rolling towards the far side. And he has the 1st down past the 47, finally brought down at the 45-yard line. So Father Ryan gets the 4th down conversion. 1 for 2 now on 4th down conversions in this game.
Some nice work there by Seamus O'Connell to move around the defenders from McCallie, and great blocking by the Father Ryan offense to be able to get Seamus O'Connell enough room to move around. Great setup there.
Receivers line up on this near side. The H-back in motion. 1st and 10 for Father Ryan. It's going to be a handoff. Jackson Bird trying to run parallel. He's going to cut it back up, get that angle, and maybe an 8-yard gain. Brought down at the Blue Tornado 36-yard line. Nice run there by Bird.
Jackson Bird lowering the shoulder there just to get a few more yards. Well done. And now brings up a 2nd one. And the Father Ryan Irish are feeling a little bit better right now. They got some momentum on their side, being able to move the ball a little bit better. So hopefully they keep this up and get the ball into the end zone.
I believe it was number 33, Dane Beard, on the stop there from McCallie. 2nd and a short 1 for Father Ryan. It's going to be a handoff. Houston Crouch spin move. He has the 1st down, trying to get to that far side, trying to get an angle. Past the 25. And it takes 3 Blue Tornado defenders to finally bring him down. But it's a 1st down for Father Ryan.
Great move by Houston Crouch with a spin move to get him into the open field and make it another 1st down. And like I said earlier, Father Ryan establishing more continuity in their offense by building the running game, and it's been working well so far.
You know, Father Ryan, when they get that 1st down, they try and get back to the line quickly. Catch the defense napping, perhaps. Here's Crouch on the handoff to the near side. Brought down just shy of the 20-yard line, so about a 4-yard gain. Houston Crouch on the run there for the Irish. And he'll be spelled by Antonio Wright coming in on 2nd down.
Father Ryan making many swaps here for running backs, hopefully to keep them fresh for the whole game, as we've seen with Antonio Wright, like you say, coming in just now.
Of course, Antonio Wright, just a sophomore, played last year as a freshman. A couple of freshmen that played last season for the Irish. So now on the 2nd and 6, Father Ryan, 3 receivers, 2 to the far side. Fakes the handoff to Wright, does O'Connell keep it himself. Spin move with the 15, brought down to the 13-yard line. And that might be enough to move the chains. Indeed, it is a 1st down, so on 2nd and 6, O'Connell gets maybe 7, and that's enough for another Father Ryan 1st down. By far, the Irish's best offensive drive of this game.
And that's music to Irish fans' ears, and as Father Ryan gets closer, they will now be looking for a score, and they are being set up with a passing play here.
Here's Antonio Wright slicing up the middle, spins into the end zone, touchdown Irish. If you want to overcome a 31-point deficit, you've got to start small. A nice sustained drive there by the Irish.
That's correct. Establishing the ground game has worked really well for the Irish on that drive. And excuse me, I was wrong. It was a running play, and they executed it perfectly, and they got the score. So well done by the Irish. Now cutting it to, excuse me.
Whistles blow before the snap. Wait and see what that call is.
Well, for now, they have cut it to 25.
So apparently not a penalty there, just not everybody ready, almost like the opening kickoff. We'll try it again. Sam Mercado lining up for the extra point. It is up, and it is good. So with 4:44 to go here in the second quarter, your score, McCallie 31, Father Ryan 7. We'll be right back here on ATW Sportscast. Four minutes, 44 seconds to go in the second quarter. Father Ryan trails McCallie 31-7, but the Irish, his first score of the game, and perhaps the chance to build a little bit of momentum if their defense can get a stop here against a high-octane, very potent McCallie offense.
Oh, there's no doubt about it that the McCallie offense is potent. They have proved it here with D'Angelo Harding having a touchdown and B.J. Harris having a touchdown or so. They've been all over the field, but Father Ryan was able to respond there with a great ground game work here.
Onside kick was attempted to the near side. Wyatt Rector, he may have actually been offside. They didn't call it. He nearly came up with the ball. So the onside attempt unsuccessful. McCallie will have the ball 1st and 10 from its own 49-yard line.
It was a good thought by Father Ryan to keep the ball with them and keep the momentum rolling, but it didn't work out just enough for them. And now McCallie with some good starting field position again, so hopefully the Irish defense will come up with another big stand here.
Both teams with 3 timeouts still. 4 minutes, 43 seconds to go here in this second quarter. McCallie has scored on each of its offensive possessions in this game. And for the Blue Tornado, it would be 2 receivers to the far side. Extra blocker in. Brooks, the running back, next to Hardy at quarterback. They're going to fake the handoff. It's going to be Hardy throwing deep, a wobbler, and it will fall incomplete. It was actually fortunate, perhaps, there for McCallie that the ball didn't quite have as much oomph behind it. And David Ward there for Father Ryan nearly came up with it, but it falls incomplete, 2nd and 10.
That's right. The pressure by the Irish defense was enough to make McCallie quarterback D'Angelo Hardy, well, in essence, overthrow it on his intended receiver, it seemed, but well done by them to pressure McCallie.
4:36 to go, second quarter. McCallie leads Father Ryan 31-7. They have the ball 2nd and 10 at their own 49-yard line. Irish are teasing the blitz. They will bring in the run blitz, and they're going to get Hardy spun up. Managed to get past the line of scrimmage, maybe a half yard. But I would consider that a moral victory, if nothing else, for Father Ryan there. A good stop. That run blitz worked, and now it's 3rd and 8 for McCallie. We approach the 4-minute mark of this first half.
And it seems as though the momentum has transferred over to the Irish defense. They've been able to hold McCallie at bay so far, so hopefully they can keep it up as they come up here with a 3rd down.
Blue Tornado need to get the ball to the Irish 41-yard line. There's the throw, high, but it's complete. Rico Dozier has the first down. Irish push him back, but he will have the first down. His forward progress was stopped beyond the chains.
Tough play, but his forward progress does bring him past the chains.
It's a good job on the stop. I mean, that's certainly, you want to, if you're the defender, you want to send your opposing player backward, but
yes.
But by rule, that is spotted where the forward progress stopped, and that was beyond the chains, so it would be the ball at the Father Ryan 39-yard line for the Blue Tornado. 1st and 10, 3:42 and counting here in this second quarter. McCallie leading 31-7. Here's Hardy. He may pitch the ball to Brooks. Instead, he's going to keep it himself, cut it back inside. And a duo of players able to make the stop for the Irish. Put Grayson Hubbock in there.
And the option play there for McCallie gets him a lot of ground. Father Ryan defense definitely needs to watch out for D'Angelo Hardy as the game continues because he has been a weapon for the Blue Tornado during this game.
And the problem is if you try and key in on the run too much, he had in excess of 300 yards passing against JP2. But he certainly has the arm to do it. But on this 2nd and 3, be a handoff to Brooks, Xavier Brooks. They got to the 30. He may be about a yard shy. Appeared he needed to. Well, indeed, he needed to reach the 29-yard line of the Irish. He was stopped at the 30, so 3rd and 1 now for McCallie. 2:35 to go first half. Father Ryan down by 24. Could sure use a defensive stop here on this 3rd and short at the Irish 30. They try the hard count. Now the snap to Hardy, going to give it to Brooks. Brooks has the first down, tackled at the Irish 25-yard line.
And McCallie's ground game is working really well for them as well. And Father Ryan defense needs to find an answer for it because they've been moving the ball very effectively this whole game.
Grayson Hubbock again on a stop, but not before the Blue Tornado gained another first down. 1st and 10 from the Irish 25-yard line. 2:12 to go second quarter, and McCallie leading 31-7. Hardy's going to keep it himself past the 20. Finally brought down around the 17-yard line. Hardy's just so difficult to contain. And if you try and put too many resources into stopping him, you'll throw it on you, or let that talented freshman get in there and run with it. Or the starter that began the season, still very talented, of course, and Xavier Brooks. And Brooks is the running back behind Hardy on this 2nd down play. It's going to be a pitch. Here's Xavier Brooks, gets a block. He's got a first down, finally tackled around the 10-yard line. A lot of running on that one to get 5 yards or whatever it ended up being, but enough for a first down for McCallie. We're at the minute 34 mark of the first half. And again, both teams have all 3 timeouts.
That's great.
So we'll see what McCallie opts to do here. And again, without a play clock available for either team, it can be difficult to know if you're wanting to try and run the clock down a bit. But they'll have it be Hardy keeping himself out of the shotgun. Good stop of that Irish defense.
Well done by number 6, Marcel Fogg, to lower the boom there and keep the McCallie and keep him at bay.
Marcel Fogg, such a talented physical player at the corner position. Also David Russell in on that stop as well for the Irish. 2nd and goal from the 10. So a handoff to Brooks. Xavier Brooks. There's a forearm tackle for you for the Irish. Maybe a 2-yard gain on that one. Less than a minute to go.
Another good play there. Matthew Cito, number 36, lowering the boom as well there. Being able to tackle the McCallie running back there. Now it sets up a critical 3rd and goal here.
The tackle was made by number 45, Jalen Harrod. Very nice for Father Ryan to get him back in. Well, he's been out for so long. He had this high ankle sprain. But he's in there right now for the Irish. Hardy's going to throw a slant pattern. And it's caught for a touchdown, Rico Dozier. And with 20.3 seconds to go here late in this first half.
Just well played by McCallie. They were able to get a good slant pattern for the end zone, and they worked well, and they got the score. So now it does bring up the score, 37-7 here in the first half. Father Ryan definitely has a lot of questions to answer here coming up after halftime.
Scary thing with D'Angelo Hardy, he's only a sophomore. So they've got this amazing freshman running back and a very talented sophomore quarterback. The kick by Earp is good. Goes into the shrubs over there. I got some nice property over here. Don't mess it up, guys. But extra point is good. So we'll keep it here with 20.3 seconds to go. It's 38-7 McCallie. Father Ryan knows it. Now the Irish will receive the ball to start the second half. But McCallie has scored on every possession it's had with the exception of the 1 turnover. And so defensively, Father Ryan, which has had some nice adjustments made at halftime this season. They certainly have.
That's correct. Father Ryan has done a very good job of making all kinds of halftime adjustments, and kudos to Coach Rector for being able to do that. So hopefully they can find something to work on here as they go to the locker room after the 20.3 seconds are up in this first half. So we will see what goes on.
Be interesting to see if McCallie will try getting yet another touchback. The last kickoff they attempted went out of bounds. But more than anything, I would suggest the Blue Tornado does not want to give Father Ryan an opportunity for a deep kickoff. Those have a higher likelihood of being taken back for a touchdown. But of course, if the ball breaks the plane of the end zone, though, that's by rule an automatic touchback. And Earp's got the leg to get it there. We've already seen it tonight. It is a squib. It's a bounce. The Father Ryan 30, fielded by Antonio Wright. And he'll go out of bounds at the Irish 35-yard line. 14.8 seconds to go here in this first half. Father Ryan has all 3 timeouts. Not a lot of time to do much here. The ball at the Irish's own 36-yard line.
And this is an interesting situation for the Irish having only 14.8 seconds. It will be interesting to see what exactly Coach Rector throws out there for the end of the half. And what we could assume is probably a knee.
You think so? I don't know. Down by 31 points.
But you never know.
We'll see. Now it's going to be a handoff. Antonio Wright. Past the 40. Made 3 or 4 spin moves. He brought down. The other team seems inclined to stop the clock. And that will end up being the last play of the first half. So Father Ryan with some things to talk about at the break. Their score at halftime, McCallie 38, Father Ryan 7. We're going to take a break and be back with the second half here on ATW Sportscast. Approach the end of halftime here in Chattanooga. Pete Potter Field. And Father Ryan finds itself in a 31-point hole at halftime. McCallie leading 38-7. Lou Pickney and Austin Wright with you on the call tonight, and Father Ryan came out of the halftime locker room looking fired up, or as fired up as a team can be facing this kind of an uphill climb in the second half. Nice round of applause, though, by the Father Ryan faithful that made the trip down I-24. Father Ryan will receive the ball to start the second half, and it's a long climb back to the top. We start to have rain falling here in Chattanooga.
That's correct. Just to add on to a busy night for Father Ryan as they are down 38-7 going into the second half. It is starting to rain. There is a rain band coming through Chattanooga as we speak. But Father Ryan has had an interesting half. They established a pretty good ground game for the most part as the second quarter went on, but they've just not been able to answer as well on the defensive side because McCallie's offense has just been so potent and being able to just throw out their weapons such as D'Angelo Hardy and B.J. Harris, just having great touchdowns after touchdowns. And so that's just going to be one of the main things to watch for as the game progresses for Father Ryan.
You think about it from McCallie, the standpoint of having a senior running back with Xavier Brooks ends up spelling their standout freshman B.J. Harris. Both of them, along with quarterback Hardy, have been very difficult for the Irish to contain thus far tonight here in Chattanooga. Ready for the opening to the start of the second half here as Earp gets a leg into it. End over end kick will fall shy of the goal line, be fielded by Riley at the 10, to the 15, to the 20. William Riley looking for space. They'll get maybe to the 23-yard line and no further, and that's where the Irish will start its first drive of the second half.
And with Father Ryan being able to start with the offense in the second half here, they definitely will need to build on what they started in the first half and make sure that they can have a good ground game and pressure the McCallie defense as much as they can so that they can be able to get it into the end zone and get some more scores on the board.
Took a look at the radar before we came back on the air here for the second half. Big band going through Nashville. I'm sure those of you watching from Middle Tennessee are acutely aware of that. Had just a little bit of a sprinkle, maybe a 20-second downpour, if you will, and then it stopped. So on 1st and 10, Irish start off with the running game. Houston Crouch picked up a couple there for the Irish, maybe 3. Trying to see through the Father Ryan players on the sideline to where that second down mark is. The ball spotted at the Irish 27-yard line. So a 4-yard gain, 2nd and 6, Father Ryan. It's a 3-receiver look, 2 to the far side. McCallie teases the inside blitz. They will bring the linebacker. Quick throw by O'Connell, complete. Wyatt Rector spin move. It was a good effort. His forward progress got him close to the first down marker from what the far side official seems to indicate.
Well done by Wyatt Rector to haul in the pass there to get Father Ryan close to a first down and bring up a 3rd and 1, it seems.
Ball is spotted at the Irish 32-yard line. They need to get to the 33-yard line. They've had trouble on these short yardage conversions tonight. That imposing front 7 by McCallie. And out of the gun with 3 receivers. It's going to be a handoff. This is Antonio Wright. Antonio Wright trying to get the corner to that edge. And he'll go out of bounds, and it's going to depend on the spot. He may be about a half-yard shy. It's tough to tell from this vantage point.
It is very close, and it seems as though, the officials have ruled that it is 4th and short.
So no gain on the run on 3rd down for Father Ryan. The ball is at the Irish 32-yard line. They're down by 31 points in the second half. One would think the Irish would go for it here.
An Irish Nation that came out to support Father Ryan here, certainly upset about that call, but Coach Rector out there wanting the team to go for it here on 4th and short.
I wonder how much time's left on the play clock. Not having it here to know for sure. So on this 4th and short, it's going to be a keeper, Seamus O'Connell, pushing forward, and that should be enough for an Irish first down.
Nice work by Seamus O'Connell to bounce through the defenders there to be able to get a first down for Father Ryan. He's a little bit slow to get up, but play continues on.
So the ball will officially be spotted at the Father Ryan 34-yard line. Irish 1st and 10, 10:33 to go, 3rd quarter. McCallie up 38-7 on the Irish. Here's Seamus O'Connell. There's a handoff that did not go the Irish way at all. Will Lombardi, that may have been his first carry of the season. There's a little bit of chippiness after the play. Certainly don't like to see that. And after all that, Will Lombardi lost his helmet. So by rule, he has to come to the sideline for at least one play. Irish have a little bit of confusion, it seems, as they bring Nick Miller in. And he will spell number 44. 10 minutes, 10 seconds to go, 3rd quarter. Father Ryan trails 38-7, but they have the ball. Looking at 2nd and 14 at their own 30. They need to make it to their own 44-yard line for another first down. McCallie, oh, we may have an issue here. So McCallie moved into the neutral zone, at least the way I looked from my standpoint, unless the Irish did something to induce them into the zone. And indeed, they'll say false start on Father Ryan. Irish fans in the vicinity here, this is an open-air booth we're in, so I can certainly hear what Father Ryan fans and friends and family are saying. They're not pleased with that call.
Most definitely voicing their opinions, but it was tough to tell to see if any Father Ryan players moved, but the officials ruled it as is.
So 2nd and 19 for Father Ryan. Seamus O'Connell's going to get spun down. He can't get away from that one. And that's yet another play emblematic for the way that this game has gone. Dre Taylor, they list him at 5'10", 275 pounds, and they might have been shorting him a bit on that. He's a big guy.
He certainly is a large man. Well done by him to take down Seamus O'Connell, but Father Ryan is in a big hole right now with 3rd and 19. They're going to need to have a big play coming up here to get a first down.
We have Taylor 275 pounds and River Henry at 255. They got some size. It's going to be a punt. The 3rd down punt, the second time this season the Irish have done that. Fair catch called for and made just inside the McCallie side of the 50-yard line by Rico Dozier. Earlier this season we saw that once for Father Ryan when it was 3rd and very long. They went for the surprise punt on that one. McCallie was able to have Dozier back there, making the fair catch. Looks like a little bit of rain here. Pulled up the radar at the end of halftime, saying Nashville will get inundated. So everybody heading back up I-24 from the game tonight. Hopefully we'll use caution. I-24 on a nice day going through that Monteagle area. Some strong style driving trying to get through there. So here's McCallie, its first possession of this second half, leading by 31 points. Shotgun snap to Hardy. He's going to hand it off to Xavier Brooks. Brooks with 3, maybe 4 yards. Senior running back on senior night. Getting the first carry of this 3rd quarter for the Blue Tornado. A couple of scores to let you know about. At the half, Baylor leads MBA 17-14. That's important.
Wow, that is a big game to watch out for.
If Father Ryan loses this one and Baylor beats MBA, it'll be Father Ryan at MBA 1 week from tonight. But a long way to go still in that one. 2nd and 7 now. The throw by Hardy, a little weird looking, but complete to the far side. Looks like Rico Dozier with the ball. Jalen Harrod and a couple other Father Ryan defenders in there to make the tackle. And looks like Gray Irwin got hit away from the play.
That's right, McCallie able to complete the wobbly pass, but it does bring up a first down for them. So, again, Father Ryan's secondary going to have to step it up here because McCallie's been able to work very well against him.
The H-back primarily for this McCallie team, Jay Gibson, some contact late trying to block on Gray Irwin in the secondary, but it's all legal if you play within the rules to the whistle. So 1st and 10 McCallie at the Father Ryan 33-yard line. The Irish need to force a turnover in the worst way. Pump fake. Hardy's throwing deep. Dozier is there wide open, and it falls incomplete. Not
just
Dozier.
Off his fingertips.
Indeed. Hakeem McMorris, the intended receiver.
A dangerous play there for Father Ryan. Luckily, it was off the fingertips of McMorris there. Certainly would have been a devastating play there, but it does now bring up a 2nd and 10.
If nothing else, that at least stop the clock. But Father Ryan, this is going to be a difficult mountain to climb if they're going to be able to pull back into this one, down by 31 points. On 2nd and 10, the Blue Tornado out of the shotgun. Hardy's going to pitch it to Xavier Brooks on the far side. He has a hole to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, McCallie.
Xavier Brooks scores the touchdown. Oh, excuse me.
No,
sorry.
go ahead.
Just one of the other weapons in the McCallie arsenal that they've been able to pull out, and he's having a good night as well with a touchdown there. Tough night for the Irish defense here.
That makes it 44-7. The touchdown run, or the touchdown there by Xavier Brooks, the running back. So this is going to put us momentarily here into a running clock situation. McCallie leading now by in excess of 35 points. Extra point laces are in, but kick was still up and good by Earp. So the score right now is 45-7 McCallie. The clock doesn't start just yet, but after the kickoff, we go to a running clock situation. And while certainly Irish fans are hoping Father Ryan can make a comeback, down by 38 points in the second half on the road against a team that's been almost unstoppable on offense. At this point, you almost have to start looking toward next week.
That's right. And not to be a Debbie Downer, but this is most certainly an insurmountable lead. It seems as though, although there is a lot of time left in the game, with 7:46 left just in the third period alone, but it certainly is not looking good for Father Ryan, as they will inevitably at the end of the game be looking towards the next week very soon.
Because NBA is also playing here in Chattanooga tonight at Baylor, we might know before this broadcast is over where Father Ryan's going to play its opening round playoff game 1 week from tonight. The running clock here, though, once that goes into effect, that might change things a bit. We'll see.
That's true.
But certainly if we get that final score before we end our broadcast here tonight, we will pass that along to you. So 7:46 to go, third quarter. Father Ryan trailing McCallie by the score of 45-7. It's been almost all Blue Tornado in this one. Kickoff taken right past the goal line to the 25. Only brought down at the 26, maybe the 27-yard line. William Riley with a nice return. Setting up the Irish 1st and 10 from its own 27-yard line, but the clock continues to run.
Well done by William Riley, and now with the running clock, it does bring up a very up-tempo and higher-paced offense that Father Ryan will need to work with here to make sure that they can get a score and work with as much clock as possible.
Now, Father Ryan saying we're looking toward next week. DC Tabscott into the game at quarterback.
That's right.
He has played earlier this year, but only sparingly.
Yes.
He became the backup. He's just a freshman. It's going to be a handoff on this one. Houston Crouch, 1st and 10. And he might not have even made it back to the starting line of scrimmage. Those Baylor defensive players up front and the frequent run blitzing by the linebackers has just made it very difficult for Father Ryan to find the kind of running lanes that usually lead to big runs. So let's say no gain on that one. 6:40 to go, third quarter. McCallie leading Father Ryan 45-7.
And now with the change in quarterback, DC Tabscott coming in, just a freshman, he has shown good signs for Father Ryan, as he has over the course of the season. He has been put in certain situations, and in the preseason when he played against Goodpasture, he showed some very good potential as well.
Nice completion by Tabscott. Quinn Warren on the reception came close to the line to gain to get the first down, be about maybe a yard and a half, 2 yards shy. I believe that's Tabscott's first completion of the season. He's played sparingly, mostly in situations where he's just handed the ball off. 6 minutes and counting, third quarter with a running clock, and McCallie leading Father Ryan 45-7. Tabscott tried for that hard count, just like O'Connell and Pfeiffer before him. Survey the defense, will move Crouch to his right hip. He'll roll to his right, Quick throw complete, Quinn Warren. And that's enough for an Irish first down. So good job by Father Ryan. Tabscott throws on the money. A pair of receptions by Warren.
Well done by Tabscott to get the good completion there. And it seems as though a change of scenery might have worked, might have started to work for Father Ryan. So we will see as the drive continues.
Well, the reality is for Father Ryan, after 5 for that torn ACL, out for the year, the 1A, 1B quarterback, call it what you will, with him splitting time with O'Connell. Suddenly it's O'Connell full-time at quarterback with a freshman backing him up. The throw by Tabscott, it's complete. Spinning reception for 3, maybe 4 yards on that one. William Riley on the catch.
Another good completion by DC Tabscott to get it to number 21, William Riley. Seems as though the passing game is working very well for Father Ryan, so hopefully they will keep it up as the drive continues.
2nd and 6. 4:45 and counting third quarter with a running clock and McCallie leading by 38 points. Tabscott again from the gun, running back to his left. 4 receivers, 2 to either side on this second down. It's going to be a handoff. Antonio Wright tries to get to the corner. Flag comes in, so this is probably coming back. He'll be stopped after maybe a 2 or 3 yard gain. Zach McAteer on the stop. Notice some players out there for Father Ryan. Substitutes out there. Richard Bryant, number 89. Freshman getting in there at wide receiver. So Father Ryan with a running clock. And I've never seen anybody come back from a running clock to win. Never say never, man. In the Super Bowl this past year, well, of course the penalty now against Father Ryan's going to move him back, but this situation is a chance for Tabscott to gain some real-time gameplay experience. You never know when you might need your backup quarterback in there, freshman or not. 5 out for the year, and only O'Connell between him and that quarterback spot. So on 2nd and 17, setting up the screen pass. And
a miscommunication, but well done by McCallie.
Intended, prepared for Antonio Wright, but Wright was not able to. There was some sort of miscommunication. The ball wasn't really, it wasn't a grounding situation or anything like that. I mean, you could argue that Wright was in the vicinity, but just really not all that close to having any chance to make that reception. 3:10 and counting third quarter. McCallie leads 45-7 on Father Ryan. Tabscott from the gun with 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. We passed the 3-minute mark of the third quarter. So barring a miracle comeback by the Irish, they'll be playing on the road next week, opening round of the playoff, and being either at JP2 or at NBA, so a chance to avenge a loss to a rival next week. And the throw is intercepted. Popped up in the air. McCallie bringing it back to the 30. Ankle tackle made right there by Ruers.
And intercepted by number 12, Anto Toivio by McCallie. Just an inopportune situation for Father Ryan that they just could not afford there with an interception. So certainly a tough drive and a tough pill to swallow there for Father Ryan, but the defense will have to step it up on this drive coming up now.
So Anto Toivio with the interception, and you can't really pin that one on Tabscott. It's intended for William Riley, but the ball popped up into the air and just one of those bad luck interceptions. So that's the first in his Irish career, at least on the varsity level, in real-time gameplay. The clock continues to run in this running clock situation. Less than 2 minutes to go, third quarter. McCallie 45, Father Ryan 7. Some new players into the game for McCallie. We have a handoff up the middle. So Eric Rivers in at quarterback, just a freshman. They listed him as a running back / defensive back, but skilled players have a way of fitting in multiple positions. So both teams going with backups at the signal caller spot, and rightly so, with this game being out of hand, and both teams wanting to prepare for next week. There is the chance that McCallie could get a first-round bye. And we'll see. It's a Wildcat, a toss to the near side. Father Ryan right there able to make the stop on that one. Forrest Dingler on the tackle for the Irish.
Well done by Father Ryan to set up a long third down for McCallie. Coming up here, they definitely will need to be looking out for another run as McCallie looks to keep taking off as much clock as possible.
And with the running clock, it's just going to work to their advantage. Whether there's an incompletion, in bounds, out of bounds, it doesn't matter. The running back's a sophomore, Ladarius Mason, number 22. He stands by the freshman quarterback, pulling back in the gun. Irish only brought 3. A blatant holding call not called. And then finally, they brought him. There's a late flag. If that's not a holding call, then I'll be surprised. We'll see. I mean, the clock continues to run either way, so even if it does move McCallie back, they probably won't have to take another snap here in this third quarter. So indeed, holding. And usually, if I can see holding from up here, it's blatant enough where they're going to throw the flag. That's just the reality of it when you see that jersey getting stretched. And Father Ryan
that's
brought
the hope.
3.
Yes.
Yeah, that's, I mean, ideally. But indeed, that will do it for the third quarter. So Father Ryan start planning for next week and the playoffs. After 3, your score, McCallie 45, Father Ryan 7. We'll be right back with the fourth quarter here on ATW Sportscast. So we start the fourth quarter here at Pete Potter Field on the campus of the McCallie School. And the Blue Tornado have had control of this one from the drop. 45-7 they lead here in the fourth quarter. The freshman quarterback with a completion for the Blue Tornado, pulled in by Jack Murphy.
That's right. Marcel Fogg credited with the tackle right there. And I'm not sure what's going on.
They finally start the clock with a running clock situation. They had it frozen, but we just saw it play. I mean, I didn't space out there. No, that really did happen. Okay. So, will help for Father Ryan, I suppose, with a running clock down by 38 points in the fourth quarter. I mean, we just got to be realists about it.
Yes,
so let's touch base on the score we just heard. NBA took the lead at Baylor 21-17. And again, that's the one, as much as Ensworth and BA is interesting, what matters for Father Ryan with a loss all but assured here is it's going to be NBA or Baylor in that one. And if NBA wins, Father Ryan plays JP2. And I know the senior class here at Father Ryan would like one more crack at the Knights.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. A revenge game would be perfect for Father Ryan seniors to start out the playoff season for sure.
Now, should Baylor come back to win that one, the seniors would have one more chance to break the long losing streak Father Ryan has had against NBA. It's been 20 years.
Yes.
And last time Father Ryan beat them was in the playoffs, the 1997 state championship. So on 2nd and 13, DC Tapscott slides, gets hit, and that's a personal foul.
And the refs do call, yes.
And that's the sort of play they're trying to take out of the game, and rightly so. About as blatant as it gets. Will Stanley in there for McCallie.
And although the score is just as despairing as it is, it certainly would not be a bad loss for Father Ryan because McCallie has had just a great year. They've been having they've had many amazing wins as well and having such a great season. So Father Ryan certainly shouldn't be too sad about this loss, especially all things considered their season that they've had, but definitely not an easy loss to take.
4 receivers for the Irish, 2 to the near side, 2 to the far on this 1st and 10 from their own 38. Tapscott complete with William Riley, and he'll get spun to the turf after a 6 or so yard gain. Nice stop there. Dalen Adderley.
And for Father Ryan coming up here, it should be interesting to watch as we continue to see DC Tapscott's role here in the offense as he shows his skill whenever he's going out there to pass the ball and read the defense.
Player for McCallie moved into the neutral zone. I didn't see anybody from Father Ryan move, but I didn't see contact made, but must have been because otherwise a defensive player that moves into the neutral zone is allowed to get back out if they can do so before anybody on the other team moves. But in this case, they will say that's what happened. So that will move the chains for the Irish, but the clock continues to run. It's approaching the 9-minute mark of the fourth quarter. McCallie 45, Father Ryan 7. Similar formation here on this 1st and 10 from the Irish 49. Tabscott's going to roll to the near side. Under some pressure. He's got to feel that. And he's going to get thrown to the ground. So a quarterback sack.
Tabscott with just a tough play right there to have to take the sack. But
Ladarius Mason, sophomore for this Blue Tornado team, with the sack on Tabscott. And that would come with age and experience. The whole feeling from the blind side, knowing that clock in your head. And that's something that, unfortunately, you have to take a couple of hits sometimes to learn those lessons.
Yes,
it's a 3-receiver look for the Irish on this 2nd and 21. And again, that's where Tabscott goes for that hard count, seeing if McCallie will jump again. They do not. And they'll move the running back, Will Lombardi, to his left side. Be a handoff to Lombardi. Cuts it back past the 40. Spins around. Finally down at, looks like the 42, maybe the 43-yard line, depending on the spot. So a 5-yard gain for Lombardi. Sets up. So that should be a 3rd. Well, I was looking at the near side marker. Forgive me. 3rd and 21 for the Irish.
definitely a tough situation coming up here for Father Ryan, and hopefully DC Tabscott will be up for it, because it seems as though a long pass is going to be one of the only options necessary.
He could go for a screen here. He will throw it downfield, a bit of a wobbler. Uncatchable, goes out of bounds, intended for Richard Bryant. So the freshman to freshman connection attempt there falls incomplete. Father Ryan now faces 4th and 16 from its own 43, down by 38 points, and approaching 7:15 to go here in the fourth quarter.
And with that, Father Ryan is setting up.
No, watch this. He may punt it here. This is the quarterback punt.
That's correct.
Tabscott, nice punt. Nobody was back there. A fair catch called for and made by McCallie as one of its backmen.
Yes, McCallie made a good adjustment there.
Caleb Jones, sophomore for this Blue Tornado team, calling for the fair catch, but that clock continues to run. And again, last update we had with NBA and Baylor was NBA leading 21-17. Not sure how much time's left in that one, or even what quarter it is at the moment. That's the same scores we have right now. Just heard it from the PA announcer here at McCallie. Again, that's what happens for the Irish next week is dependent on the outcome of that game. Baylor wins. It'll be Father Ryan at JP2. All right, I said that the other way around. Let's watch this play right here. This is a throw to the far side, complete for McCallie. Briar Roberson on the catch. So to reiterate, okay, if NBA beats Baylor, it's Father Ryan at JP2 next week. If Baylor beats NBA, it's Father Ryan at NBA next week. So that's what we have to watch for relative to next week's schedule. But at least it's Middle Tennessee. It's not like the back-to-back trip to Chattanooga last year, which at Baylor to end the regular season in 2016, and then here at McCallie.
And there's no doubt that would be a tough situation to come back again in the very next week for Father Ryan, but definitely going to be interesting to watch.
Irish bringing some pressure from the near side, and they're going to get a sack. Nick Watson came in.
Well done by the Irish defense to get a sack on McCallie. And going forward, one of the things that Father Ryan will have to look for, as I'm speculating for next week, if they were to play, one of the opponents that they would rather face is certainly JP2 to have a revenge game and win back the Bishop's Cup, in essence, although it would be in the playoffs, but still.
And I didn't want to talk about this before because I was trying to look from the standpoint of if Father Ryan wins, look positive, but with the score being what it is now, less than 5 minutes to go, down by 38 points. It's going to be interesting because I don't think the Bishop's Cup is defended in the play. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's ever happened.
Well, we'll find out, I guess.
Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Depends on that NBA Baylor game. If Baylor wins, it's going to be Father Ryan at NBA. So we'll see on this third down. Nice job with the Irish defense going sideline to sideline on that one. David Russell and Will Lombardi combining to bring down Eric Rivers. So on 4th and 11, and again the clock continues to run. 4:24 and counting fourth quarter. Father Ryan trailing 45-7. This one just out of the gate, McCallie. Which had an extra week to prepare, I should add, since they're coming off a bye. But my goodness, they've got some talent. They got some young talent on this team.
And they have some speed and strength for sure for many of their players.
They're the only team, Division II AAA this year thus far to beat Innsworth, as the punt is fielded with a fair catch made by Quinn Warren around the Irish 35-yard line, of the market at the 36. So the clock continuing to run. But if nothing else, I think about these Chattanooga teams that sometimes in the playoffs have to go to Memphis or vice versa. So who might have complained living on the southeast suburbs of Nashville, getting to hop on I-24 a little easier than some others have it.
Yes.
But whatever the case, as the clock continues to run, Father Ryan will send, it's a blend of regulars and some backups in there. Yes. Always good, because these guys have to do the same number of sprint drills and everything else that the guys that play all the time do. So certainly, even though this game is out of hand, getting some experience and a little bit of a reward, as it were, for
it definitely is welcome experience for sure.
There's also the thought you want to keep your key players healthy for next week.
Yes, because that is true.
In this game, it's a 38-point lead, and we're approaching the 3-minute mark with a running clock. So a face mask penalty called against the Blue Tornado. Move the ball 15 yards. So the Irish will have the ball at the Blue Tornado 49-yard line, 1st and 10 Irish. So 3-receiver look, 2 to the near side. Tabscott at quarterback. Move for the hard count. Nobody moved for McCallie. And then a whistle. A flag came in. And it's going to be a procedure penalty against Father Ryan from the looks of it. Indeed, they will say a false start on the Irish. It was on that far side. I didn't have a good look at it. Certainly that official was closer than me on that one. But either way, the clock continues to run. I mean, the outcome of this game has been long decided. I was hoping to see some of these young players out there show some glimpses of what we might see in the future for this Irish team. And, of course, for Tabscott as the backup quarterback, the Irish have been fortunate to have O'Connell in there this season. Is there a handoff? The Irish back to its original starting point on 1st and 10, so about a 5-yard gain on that one. So it was Houston Crouch on the carry. Kind of hidden behind a couple of players from me there, so I couldn't say for sure initially. So a 1-yard or a 6-yard gain sets up 2nd and 9 with the ball at the McCallie 48-yard line.
And it should be worth noting that McCallie has played an all-around well-played game for sure. They have just been dominating the ball on both sides.
It's 4 receivers. Tabscott, only 3 defenders brought to flush him. He'll go out of bounds for about a 2 or 3 yard loss. That'll set up 3rd and 11, maybe 3rd and 12 for Father Ryan as we approach the 1-minute mark of the 4th quarter. So it appears this one's going to wrap up before the major storm system that's heading through Nashville. Putting it up right here. It's, again, those of you watching Middle Tennessee, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know by looking outside, but just from the standpoint of what we're expecting here, we should be done well before the heavy rain hits.
Mm-hmm.
The clock says 1:66. I don't think that's a real time. Call me crazy. The official time.
Well, last time I checked, I don't believe 1:66 would be a correct time, but who knows?
I don't know what to tell you on that one. Try and get an update on this Baylor MBA game. And again,
certainly a critical game to watch for.
I mean, Innsworth and BA is of interest because keep in mind McCallie, the only team I kind of got cut off before, but McCallie, the only team this year in Division II AAA to beat Innsworth.
And Innsworth has had a phenomenal season as well.
They've got a lot of young talent as well on that Innsworth
that is
team.
True.
And while they stumbled a little bit earlier, that's a team that's on a roll. I'm glad for Father Ryan. The Irish don't have to face either this McCallie team certainly or Innsworth next week. But it's going to be either Pope John Paul II High School in Hendersonville or our old buddies at Montgomery Bell Academy on West End.
And now it seems as though Father Ryan will be set up with 4 receivers for a pass play, but the clock is still saying 1:66. So
well, the running clock, I guess it's perhaps immaterial. NBA leads Baylor 24-17 in the 4th, and that pass will fall incomplete as Tabscott got waylaid as he threw the ball. Clean play. We're going to say time being kept on the field at this point, although with a running clock and less than 2 minutes to go before that scoreboard went haywire. It's going to be simply a few extra stats added on a couple of plays.
That's correct.
That's going to wrap it
Just
up.
getting a little bit more experience for each player.
NBA leads Baylor 24-17. 9 minutes, 20 seconds to go, fourth quarter in that one. So keep a lookout for the winner of that, because I imagine their game is going to wrap up before, will not wrap up before our broadcast will, since we have the running clock going for the majority of the second half. It's two receivers to the near side, one to the far. For Tabscott on this 3rd and 10. This may be the final play of the game for all I know. It's tough to tell at the clock. And it's going to be a quarterback punt by Tabscott. A nice practice at that. Takes an Irish bounce after hitting at the Blue Tornado 18-yard line. We stopped dead at the 13-yard line. So a nice little smattering of opportunities there for Tabscott. A little bit of running, some throwing. That backup quarterback position is vital. Certainly going into the playoffs.
It really is. That is for sure. And especially throughout the regular season as well, because with Kay Pfeiffer's injury, it did bring up a brand new situation into which Seamus O'Connell has grown and flourished and done very well for what he's had to do. So there's definitely something to be said about backup quarterbacks in high school football, for sure.
That's going to be the last play. The clock is still running, but that clock's been a mess the last couple of minutes, and it's immaterial anyway. So quality win by McCallie that looks strong on all sides of the ball. And Father Ryan takes the loss here in Chattanooga. Final score, Father Ryan losing to McCallie 45-7. So Austin, I don't know if you have anything else you want to add. I'm thinking about for next week, it's either NBA or JP2 that Father Ryan gets a rematch against.
Yes, that's right. As we look forward the playoffs next week, Father Ryan will be having a big game coming up against JP2 or NBA. So definitely going to be an interesting rivalry game next week in Middle Tennessee. So we hope you all will be able to come on out and have a good time there as well. So certainly going to be an awesome game.
Look for the information on Twitter, Behind FRHS Crest. Again, Behind FRHS Crest. That's the Behind the Crest Twitter feed. They'll have the information for you. So one last time here in Chattanooga for Austin Wright, ACW Sportscast crew, everybody, let's help out with this one. Your final score, McCallie 45, Father Ryan 7. We'll talk to you 1 week from tonight in Middle Tennessee.